Welcome back to Timberborn. My name is Nilaus, and we're just started on a bad tide. I didn't catch the bad tide announcement, but we have 21 days of bad tide here. We have our beautiful water reservoir, which should be good. But I actually in this episode, we're going to do a lot of big irrigations. We use this for irrigation system and for farming, so we can take our farming out of this area and somewhere better. I think this should be fine. But in order to do that, I actually found out that I don't want to take the water out here, which was just chosen at random, but I want to take it out here. So we have a lot of things that need to be exploded. We need to raise some ground, which means we need to get some other things in. Here, I actually want this to be... since we are in the bad tide, they will be pumping out here and here, which means that this thing here should function as an overflow valve. Like that. Target height. Target height? Really? Is that what I want? That's really not what I want. This is a fill valve. I don't really want it to be a fill valve. I wanted it maybe to be a throttling. Because right now everything flows this way and I think it might overflow. What we also want to do today is we want to tap all of these locations. Close the bad tides and also tap these bad tides so that we can get access to stuff like this. The aquifers, that will just sort of be a random project along the way. We're going to find this one and we can get out there. But we need to make some of these ones. The dirt exchanger. And I want to get them close here to the space so that they can run and they can get a ride on this one and then go out. So I'm going to level this area here so that we get down to a same level here and use this place for that. So let's start by exploding this area here. Oh, let's blow it up. And on this. Beautiful. There we go. And then we are still going to blow this up some more because it still needs to go 2 levels down. It needs to be at level. I know that the digging machines, they will still be, they'll still work, but that one is definitely not going to be blown up, these two. Oops, because then we start leaking water. That actually shouldn't have been leaked before. So that's less problem. That's good. Let's keep that one and this one. And then we just upgrade this. I think we also need to clear this one out so that it just looks a little more strict. Good. More things to explode. And now we actually have the correct level. It's beautiful, isn't it? Glorious. So, now that we have it at the correct level, then we should start figuring out what is it actually we want to do. We need you in here. Okay, that's actually important. Alright, so what is it I want? Well, we're going to get some of these storage. I think I can do something like this. Because then I can also use this as a way up to this location. So we can get back up there in case we need it, because that's been something I've been missing. And then that will be here. Why do we have so many of these? Well, these have to be for the dirt. And we need a lot of dirt. And this is, we just need to store a lot of it. So that should be fine. I actually want to make 2 more, like this. Yes, that's kind of absurd amount, but that is what I want. There. Then the next thing is actually getting the dirt, and that's in this dirt excavator here. So I can make it like this, but then I can't go up because the input is 1 tile off. So I'm going to be building it like this, and they will need staircases to get in, and they will keep digging downwards. Now these will be absolutely used by be done by robots, so we need to make sure that we are actually getting something in. So this would be probably a good idea for where to place it. Yeah, I think so, because then I can just take you out. Oof, that's kind of a critical one. Let's make sure that's absolutely first thing done. And then that goes up. It goes across, and then we get the connection like this. And then we need some chargers. 1, 2, maybe 3. And this one is already placed in a strategic place where it will actually affect everything. Perfect. Now we just want this to be built first. There we go. There. All of that. All of this first. Ta-da! There we go. And I will need these to be switched over to like that. There. And that will take 4 each. And I have just put them in here generally. So now I have the 8 robots remaining. That will be exactly what I need for this. Coincidence. And they are spitting glorious. So what happens here is that they will just gradually dig down. That shouldn't be a problem. And it'll just keep getting to the end of the map. And then it'll continue. So it'll always just continue working even though it hits the end of the map. Oh, something is not working though. And that's this part. No, that's actually over here. So I'm not having anything out here. Good. Good, good, good. So that means now we should have this available. Let's have a look over here. So here, down here, there's something interesting happening. That is the fact that I am going to build this first. And let's just make sure this is highest priority because I want this out here. So it actually works out quite neatly like this. So what I want to do is I want to fill this area, but I also really want to get down here in a meaningful way. So because it's always like absolutely atrocious to build things in underneath here. So what I need to do is here. Oh, they can actually just kind of explode these. And I'll then drag a line that way. Let's see. So far they can work, but now they will have to work from below ground, and that's why I want to get down here. And that one. And I want this prioritized like that. And then I want to build this connection up. And then I want to fill up the rest of this area here with the newfound bricks. And yes, I will also need to build a local storage. Oh, we can't even build it on roads. Okay, so we can't pave over roads. We have to remove the roads. It's fine. There. All of this up here is actually ready to be exploded. So let's explode that. Beautiful. That gets it down to the level where we want it. And then these small things here, just to round off this area. And get these picked up. And then I can start working on this, which I will do. Where is it? Here. Like this. And yeah. Because I don't want to fill this one in. And I also want to take this out. Yep. So if we go down to this level, we can see that you are now prioritizing it that way. Yeah. Pretty good. So that's going to take it. This is going to be my main part, because as soon as I can do this, then I can also, let's get these two up. Then I can build the connection, this one right there. And then I will also be able to build a big storage here. This area here will be my irrigation canal, which will go all the way over here. And then it'll also go this way in, so that this becomes the irrigation canal as well. This will now be at the right level here and here. So I'm going to need to do some kind of magic over here so that I can actually explode this. It needs to go 2 levels down. It needs to explode this and kill this part here so I can build some of these again. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky, so I don't actually just let all the water out. This is also why I've been setting these to just continuously work, because I want the level here to be as low as possible. Because if I can migrate it into these, that's just fine. I mean, it's never going to get lost as soon as it's in the water tank. It doesn't evaporate in water tanks. So, might as well drain this down to the bottom. Oh, this is interesting. Good thing I noticed this. This is actually digging just straight into the connection line down here. So, before we do anything stupid, let's make sure that we cover this. Otherwise, it's going to go into this network here and then flow everywhere. So, we definitely don't want water in our underground network, for sure. So, that has to be closed off. And then I need to build or blow up this part. It actually isn't even enough to blow it up to. It needs to blow up 3 tiles. Yeah. So now we open it, and then the water will flow out, but it won't flow out further than this. So we're gonna get these ones here. They're gonna be built, and then we're gonna be closing it off again. And that should be safe. And let's see, we just need this to be prioritized so that everything gets done. Perfect, nice. This one is almost done. We can look at this. This is slowly sort of getting closer here. Just a little bit left on this part. And once that's done, we can start getting them in here a lot faster. But there's more things. We want to close off this corner. We now want to start raising this area. And there's going to be a lot of work to do. But actually this corner here, I want to fix it first. Because I want this to be fertile ground as well. Because there is a thing that I want this tile here. Yeah, this tile, I want that to be an irrigation barrier. Irrigation barrier is this one. They cannot be built, you cannot build anything on top of it. You cannot build it on top of this. So it has to be built on the ground. And that means we need ground level here. So in order for us to do that, we're going to be doing some shenanigans here. Making things a little bit more tricky. But there, and how did that get? Yeah. So this will close off, and then I will basically also that will still continue here, but I do not want this one. And after these are done, I want this to be like that. So let's get this corner like this. Oh no, I just made a horrible mistake, because this is my irrigation canal. If I bring this through the irrigation canal, it's not gonna be a good idea. So I need to actually move it somewhere else. That means this over here will not need to be an irrigation canal. So that actually is where it should be. It should be right over there, because then I can still bring it up from the bottom. I will need to do something different. So this is like a major overhaul of this. But it's not completely wasted. We can still do it. It's not, all of it is not wasted. It's just yeah, just a little oopsie. So it has now been built, and these are connected. Now I can take the old one out, and I can also just remove traces of our stupidity. There we go. And then put a pin in this. There. And let's also do this one so that we get joy again. Okay, so this is now connected. If you look at this level, you can see that it is connected. That one is a connection, and it goes through. So that is great, and it should not interact with the. Actually, I don't need to build this, because this is going to be an aqueduct anyway. Oh, don't do that. That's going to be an aqueduct. So I need to get this. So we can also just explode this, so we get a little bit more. Glorious. And we also are sort of trimming the ledge here. So some things need to be exploded, some things need to be sort of landfilled. There. And we go back here. So this is now at the right level. This is nice. And we can also look at the corner. This corner is great. So now I can... This gets a little bit dangerous. Because I actually want to take out this part here. Yeah. Do I want to... No. I actually want to build these here. Come on. There. I want to build this. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is I think that should make it from in here. And therefore, that should not be too dangerous. I don't hope they get sick from... Yeah, because there's a little splash of water here. Bad water. Then we can also start closing off this part here, which would also be nice, because that's another thing. Here. It's just to illustrate where it needs to go. And That one. There. And I think I actually have to do something like this first so it cuts off. Yeah, let's just do this. This will be, it'll take a while. Ooh, the bad tide ended. That was nice. Let's have a look at the situation. That means now this is pumping. Great. It was actually draining. Now I don't know if this needs to be... Now I actually want this to be going up to 2. That was the threshold I was saying before. So now I actually need it for irrigation. So I'm going to set it up to say, okay, only when you're above 2 will you start pumping. Because we have tons of water. And we also start pumping from here, if necessary, and anywhere else. Good. So that was like an easy way to solve that. It was like 21 days, but we barely even noticed. Now, irrigation canal. They are expensive, but I want to get them all the way over here, which means that I need to get stuff like that one, because I can't build roads on this here, and then that will go there. And this will sort of be the way to get in here. And I'll also have a path here. We're going to be doing the same once this one is built, which I think is important to get that built, because then we can actually get in here. So once that's built, I'm going to cut this one off, but I don't want to cut it off right now. So now that the drought is over, and or the bad tide is over, it's time for us to close these ones. Then I've already made sort of a little stint in here to get there. So what we want to do is we want to simply make our way over. Okay, so it's a drought. That's perfect, because that means we can actually continue with this without fear of, well, anything basically. So I think I want to go somewhere like this. And then I want to encapsulate this one. We've done this a million times before now, so it should be pretty simple. This one, and then some of this. And then I need some irrigation out. Do I want 1, 2, 3? 1 will be actually enough, because they do have unlimited throughput. So let's just do 1. I will not want to get them out at all, but I still kind of want to have the opportunity. Doesn't cost us anything to do that while building, so why not? And let's see, this will be just that one. So we go over, yeah, and it is now connected. We will then also go over here to tap these two, because that would be lovely to get some water in here. That's not going to happen until after the next one. And then we'll just drag the power line that we are already having here. Drag that in here. Okay, so before we let the water come in here, let's build this irrigation canal. And then realize that every single thing down here is vulnerable. And that's kind of important to get this done. So this is super important, otherwise we have basically the irrigation canal is our tubeway network, which is not good. So the thing is also that once we have this done, then I actually want to close this off completely. Oh, something I haven't really talked about, like why do I make it 3 wide? I did some experiments. When you have it 2 wide, it irrigates 10 tiles to the side. That means that with a road, it'll irrigate 9 tiles. If you make it 3 wide, then it'll irrigate 15 tiles. So if I make it 1, 13 in the middle, and 1, then everything gets irrigated all the way over, and including the road. It doesn't need to be irrigating the road, but I like this, the road being irrigated as well. So that's the reason why I'm building it like this. It also means that now we can use this middle space for, let's say, roads or buildings such as farms and storage and all that good stuff that we probably need. And one thing more, which is, I don't know, evident at this point. So what are we seeing here? Well, I mean, if the whole thing is a city, I mean, it's a colony, but you could also call it a city. And these square things, like these square things where we sort of have a dedicated thing inside of each, I don't know, should we call it a block inside our colony? I don't know what we should call it. Yeah, you know, that's a completely new concept that I've never done before. So that's going to be exciting to see how that pans out. The drought started, and we have a only 17-day drought. We have 10,000 here, which means that these are not actually working because the big water pump is disabled because it comes over here. Because it says resource water not full. The resource water is actually full. It is at 99% full. So until it drops, we are not actually pumping anything. And we can see that the water has accumulated above the threshold for sending it out. And now it'll just evaporate. Too bad. But that's just how it is. But during the drought, we can also start... Oh, look at that. We don't have anything to do. We can also do the same thing here. We can take this one out and now close this as the next thing to close out. Things are progressing pretty fast in this base here. Like, we built something, and by the time I've sort of designed it, designed the next one, I come back and then it's already built. So this one is completely set up. This one here. This will pump water out into this area, and yes, it'll flush out some of this. I could knock this one out. If I did, then it would go straight in here and then flow out. But I actually want this to go all the way over here to flow in. Do we have any other good locations? Nope, there's nothing down here. That's actually interesting that there's no aquifer or anything. Nothing out here. Nothing out... Oh, that's really an interesting location, this one. Oh, this one... Oh, this might actually be a starter location. That could... Look at that. That looks like very much like a starter location. Like the fact that there's a water pump and there's some blueberries. Yeah, this looks very much like a starter location. Anyway, this one is open, chronically open. This one is ready to get built. And then that will be closed off so that we don't get too much in here. This one over here, I have now designed it. So it comes in, gets the power all the way over and all the way in. Then it gets up here. This one gets closed off. Oh, here's actually an interesting thing. All of these that I've built, I have not actually turned them off. Yep. That's kind of important. And that means also over here. Oops. How do we get so high up? There we go. And that should also be closed. Great. So that means now we continue here. What we're going to work on is, well, there's more explosives. There's more everything here. We're just going to be doing a good old explosion. Nice. And then majority of the work will now be not actually on explosives, but on what can we say? On terraforming. So this terraforming thing is an absolute nightmare to get done. It is just a joy to see these little beavers just working frantically on getting everything done here. We have so many. We just take everything. Any idle beaver or robot will be assigned to just be a builder or hauler. And as you can see, it goes pretty damn quick. So now I'm just getting power out here so that we can actually use the robots. The robots can actually be charged as well. And then we get like the first 4 colony squares, to call them something new and weird. And one more project is almost complete out here. There we go. We have now the aquifer. It's not quite connected, but it's very, very close. And this one's also sealed off. So this is good. Very, very close to done. Over here, this one is done. And also we only need this part here to closing this one off. There we go. So that's also closed off. Then we don't really have any more. This one is closed. Then we don't have any more locations on the map that are that can sort of breach, and that means we can go on with our irrigation canal here and our blocks. There we go. We're making progress, and I think we might be getting close to actually doing a test. I am deliberately not taking this one out, because if I do, then water will start flowing out here. Yeah, I really want to do a test to see how this irrigation works, but I'm also like in the middle of a drought, so maybe not the greatest time. We're down to 1.57. So what I've done is I've set up, like, I punched a hole through this irrigation canal and then do a measurement of saying, hey, if it's less than 150, then you're on. So I could take these here and I could automate them and hook them up to the irrigation canal. I'm just going to pause and then I will, there. Which means that, no, that's not the, when it's on, it sets up to, let's just it doesn't have to be really a lot of flow. But when it's off, it's off. Reaction speed, I don't know what that does. Or I don't know. See, there we go. Let's see how the water spreads out. And you can see that this is when it's only taking the lower tile, then it doesn't get as far out as it could. So we need to fill it up here. We can see when it gets above 1, then it spreads out. Oh man, that's so good. I was just like, oh my god, I'm worried. This one could also just be like maybe 120. Doesn't have to be that much. It just needs to be enough to go. Look at this beautiful thing. Green pastures everywhere. Now, what should we do in these fields? Well, farmland. And then we'll have in here, we'll have a sort of, yeah, storage of various sorts. So we have 6 different crops here that we want to set. Do we have anything else that we could also argue that we would have blueberries and coffee bushes in here? But that would be about it. So let's just say, okay, we're going to have this one being kohlrabi. And this one being cassava. This one being soybean. This one being canola. And the new ones that are not quite ready will then be corn here and eggplant here. That looks absolutely gorgeous. And then we can do coffee and something else down here. And then maybe some wood back here at the end, because that harvests less frequently. And the drought is over. And we're just working on random crap out here to hopefully get us something. All this, I really wanted these two to be done, but I had completely forgotten about it, and it's not so easy to make this because this is deep underwater in here. So this needs to be done, and then also this long line here. But I think I can just squeeze it in here, and let's try and see if we can get some progress on this as fast as possible. There we go. That should get us started. And then I'll need to re-establish this whole line here. We can see how diligent these the beavers are. They're actually, I just started painting this one, and they're already working on it. And oh, that's so funny that I just misplaced it. Well, funny. Yeah. And let's see. We should also just take stock of the situation with regards to, oh, water. Water's fine. We need to make sure that they actually get their water. I don't want to use from the new reservoir because I want that for irrigation. Wow, that's really a long way we can draw this. And I need to do this and this and this. And over here, yeah, I think we'll do this one when it's done. And that one goes away. Good. So all of this needs to be done. Let's go back here to our irrigated area. These ones are now pumping. Lovely. And we should see, hopefully, that it increases. Yes. And it sort of flows out here. This one is checking that it is. It's of course always going to be more because it stops at 20 and then it stops here, and then whatever is sort of slushing out here is still working. And this is somehow not working. Ah, the middle one. Yes, that's the middle one. That's actually not a problem. We'll just do this. And then we just put this on top, because then that will just take care of the rest of it. This out here. Oh. How annoying it is that there's just 2 that are missing, because that means I can't really blow this up just now. But they're also working on this. I've put... this is the eggplants, the corns. Let's see. Where do we get... There. And this one is coffee bushes. Then this one will be blueberries. And then I can do pine resin here. And then just oak trees here. Just so that we have everything doing something. And water is being pumped from here primarily. So we can top up. And this one will not pump for the time being. And oh, let's also go out here to this location. Look at this clear blue water. No more nasty stuff, just blue water everywhere. Look at that. It's just streaming out here and irrigating everything. That's beautiful. What about over here? Yes. And this one is, there's no more bad tide discharge. There's no more bad tide drain. Now there's only this one, which will gradually go in here and start mixing until it goes above and then flows out here and here. Once that happens, yeah, well, the water will gradually clear up just by dilution. And so the final piece of the puzzle comes in here and go. Now these are actually pumping. So what happens now is that they will pump out normal water, which isn't really going to go anywhere meaningful because it'll just be polluting here. But at least we have it. And then we can figure out what we want to do with it afterwards. We might sort of lead it this way. That's a headache for another time. We might want to put a clutch in here. But we can do that once this one has overflowed. We want to get rid of the normal water, the bad water, so that it becomes clean as possible. So we're just going to pump this a little bit. That's great. And over here by our irrigation location here, there we go. That's almost done here. That's glorious. And that will also be done. And then this is just struggling to get the rest of this layer out. I think it might be time for us to actually allow this to flow in. So this is going to be a little bit more. Oops. There. So I'm going to be cutting this one out. Well, actually, I'm not going to cut it out until I explode it out. So once I explode these locations, then the water will not only flow this way, but it'll also flow the other way. And it'll still be constrained by this one being over 1.2 meters. And it should be ready to go. We don't really have enough of the dirt, so this is why this is kind of slowing down. Let's blow this up, and if I do, then you're gonna get stuck. So maybe I'll just wait a second until you're done charging. Come on, be done charging. Can I just pause you? Yes. Blow it up. And unpause you. And then get this back. So very important. And that will be the highest priority. Getting this one back in. And this on top. Yes. And these are of course not working because there's no roads on it. Now everything is purely and beautifully irrigated. And there we go. Now it flushes back here. And we're now at 1 point something. And what about in this location? We're at 3.8. Ooh, that's juicy. And we're at maximum water. So I think we're at a pretty good spot. So the only thing we're missing now is actually setting up the farmhouses. Now, should I have one farmhouse for each? I think so, just because it'll look awesome. The other thing would be, we could do that and then do the other one. But I also think I want to sort of store the intermediates here. So we could do something like this one, and then that would be like maybe just the one will be enough for this, and you will be, I have no idea what's over on this one. That is the, I don't know, this is kohlrabi, this is cassava, so this one should be cassava there, and there'll be one, and they'll be prioritized by haulers. Then I'm gonna set up a box for your cassavas right here. This one will just be the soybeans, the cassava, there we go. Then I'll do the same thing. Let's do that here. And this one will then be only the kohlrabi, and that's just generally going to be one. And then I'll do a small storage of this for kohlrabi. There we go. And we'll do the same thing for the next one. Here, this will be, what is that? Oh, canola. Yes, okay, so that's going to be canola. And canola will also be stored in a box. Oh, hello bad tide. That was a little bit of a shock. Canola seeds, is that it? Yes. There we go. We don't really need these seeds here, but that one. And you are going to be soybeans, which we have over on that side. And then this will also be just the raw soybeans, which are here. And we continue up on this one. That will then be eggplant. And down here we'll have the... What is this? That's eggplant, and that is corn. Okay, so this is corn. Yes. Corn. And this will be eggplant. And then we need storage for this as well. Raw storage here. That one and that one. That's corn, which is again an intermediate there. And eggplant is also an intermediate. Good. Now here, this will be... That'll be the bushes. So that means we need a forester here. And that forester... Let's cut across. You are going to be focused on coffee, replant, and I think this one can do both because it's really simple. So I'll just do blueberries on this one. We're not going to need that many blueberries, but yeah, sure. And this forester, then I'm going to set another one over here. This will be coffee beans and this will be blueberries. So we do need 2 storages for that. That one and that one. So this will be coffee beans. That one. And this will be blueberries, which is there. And up here, this will be... This is prioritizing coffee bush. This one will then be prioritizing oaks. Yes. And we will then do pine here, which will not be harvested. And then I'll eventually do oak here, which will be harvested. And that means we also need some gatherers here. And this is going to be a gatherer bush. That one and that one. This will be focused on berries. And you're going to be focused on coffee beans. And suddenly we have like a million things that are here. And I'm going to get you. I know I don't need this many, but at this point, let's just go. Oh, that's not a... Oh, right. That's a special building. That's a trapper building. The trapper's shack. That could be over here. That's a hauler. There. And then the only thing that needs to be harvested is this one. Here we have the final piece of the puzzle. There we go. We now have a fully established line all the way down here. So that by the very end, we also put a ledge or a fence so they don't fall off the map. We can't have that. These should be a lot less red by now because they are, yeah, they're now coming out from here. But look at this beautiful location. We have oak, we have pine, we have blueberries, we have coffee bushes, we have corn, we have... Oh my god, there's something wrong. Why is it... How is that happening? Why is it... What is that? Off, 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 off. Is it because the flow is too big? Maybe we just turn off the top ones. So the 2 top ones are turned off, and the lower ones, they are gonna go with like 30% flow. There we go. Good. They really shouldn't be getting out there, and that is still at 3.15. Good. So we just need a little bit of flow. This is because this one dipped, and then it got out, I think. And it got a little bit of a splash. It comes in a splash here. Okay, well, anyway, corn and eggplant and canola and soybeans and kohlrabi and cassava. So we have everything here. That is pretty damn amazing, and I think this is beautiful. This is just beautiful. This is really the terraforming that we're looking for. So what are we going to do in the next episode? Well, we're going to be cleaning up our home area here, because that is now no longer needed. So we can turn into more industry, more storage, and most importantly, more happiness, so we can get all the way up to 60. And next episode might actually be the last one, because we can probably easily do the Earth repopulator by now. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode. Until then, take care, and as always, stay effective.